For almost half a year, Dota 2 has been hyped around this Crownfall update with the new hero Ringmaster revealed during 2023's The International. Back in March, the developers asked for a bit more time as they aimed for a mid-April release. And as we got closer to the date, so did the comics, memes, and anticipation from the community rise. It's actually been a whole year since the new Frontiers gameplay patch, if you guys remember, that literally widened the map of Dota 2. And I think the last time we got a hero was Muerta back in like 7.32E in like 2023 March. So it's been at least a year plus since we actually got a new hero. So a lot of us felt it's been long overdue that this game of over 10 years got a bit of a shake up, both of new heroes and or even some major gameplay adjustments. Well, today Valve finally released Crownfall. Kinda? So in the Crownfall news post, they highlight how this release, this new patch, was something completely new that we've wanted to try for a while, and a new way of telling stories, offering rewards, and making it more fun to win every game of Dota. If you recall, back in like June 2023, the developers highlighted that they were no longer doing battle passes, one of their most popular and financially lucrative annual releases. The reasoning was that most of the community frankly did not buy the battle pass, and that was me included. I actually had stopped buying them since 2015 as it felt more and more like work that I paid for, and the FOMO, which is fear of missing out, of not getting maximum value from it ruined my enjoyment of just playing Dota. It seems I wasn't alone, and developers took that as a signal to move away from the battle pass and move towards updates like the new Frontiers path that we talked about, and now this Crownfall kind of lore story enhancement experience. I don't know. But here's the catch. It's part one of a 4-part update, and that has kind of ruffled a lot of feathers with the community. But honestly, this patch is chock full of amazing stuff that really enhance and enrich the Dota 2 experience and story for those who kind of like that sort of stuff. For starters, the developers released a 118 image, 34 page comic, which is frankly insane. There hasn't been a comic since the anti-mage persona in the 2020 battle pass, I think. So this is definitely a welcome addition. The comic tells the story of Skywrath Mage and Vengeful Spirit, her death, revival, and the sister queen Imperia. With that comic releases the centerpiece of this update, the Markets of Midgate. It's kind of like an augmented cavern crawl from the old battle passes, but with two key caveats, or I guess benefits or qualities. One, the core experience is free, and two, there's no expiration date, removing that FOMO from the battle pass versions. So let's dive into this cavern crawl. When it comes to this cavern crawl called the Markets of Midgate, we can see a lot of attention was put into it to really make it worth our while. While exploring the map, you can unlock more of the Crownfall story from the comic, as well as receive cosmetic items, play minigames, and get currencies like tokens, candy, and coins. And let's break those down, okay? 1, tokens are earned if you win with a hero, and these tokens are used to progress across the board, where you can read new story elements, unlock gifts like MMR double down tokens, cosmetic skins, and more. 2, candy is just like from the old battle passes and Grieval's Greed. You get candy not from winning your matches, but rather from journeying around or across the board. These candies can be used to redeem prizes at the Candyworks caravan, which is spread out across the map, across this cavern crawl map, so to speak. If you don't like what's available, you can actually win your Dota 2 matches to re-roll for a new set of items at those Candyworks caravans. And 3, lastly, coins are similar to candies in that you earn them when moving around the board. These tokens are used to give a $7 or €7 and 99-cent discount on anything costing more than $7.99 at the Crownfall store. The store actually has a lot of stuff you can buy, like treasure chests, arcanas, the Crownfall Royal Bundle, which gives more MMR double down tokens, caravan rerolls, and lastly, there's also the unlock of the Pathfinder Pack, which unlocks access to additional side quests on the cavern crawl board, and also gives you an exclusive reskin of creeps in your matches. But honestly, you can get a lot of cool skins just by playing around the board and winning your Dota 2 matches. So half this stuff is great, but not really necessary to experience or be part of that Midgate, Markets of Midgate experience in the Crownfall story lore. So on top of those 24 new cosmetics that we just reviewed real quick, we also have 2 arcanas releasing without being trapped inside a battle pass and requiring a lot of money, time, sweat, rage, and tears to unlock them from winning your Dota 2 matches. These arcanas can have their price reduced by earning those coins we talked about from the Markets of Midgate, and I actually consider them pretty high quality in terms of arcanas, right? The Skywrath one looks good and has a second alternate style to it after the completion of the main quest in Act 4. The arcana gives you a new stance, pedestal, hero icon, voice lines, cool animations, and effects, and man, they really flash whether you're playing with the original blue version of Skywrath or the more shimmering gold-white beam-looking alternate style once you unlock it. The Vengeful Spirit one goes one step further. She has actually 3 styles, from a pearly skin looking one to her original dark purple to this wine sipping Queen Imperia final unlock that looks great for any Beverly Hills housewives who feel they weren't properly represented in Dota 2. Again, like the Skywrath Mage Arcana, she also has new animations, hero icons, effects, and voice lines, and more. Okay, woo, that was a lot to go through. So what was the community reaction? Well, honestly, it's pretty mixed bag, right? Some are coming to the realization that this is actually a pretty sweet experience, while others are expressing a strong dislike and distaste of this Crownfall release. Some are mad that the Battle Pass kind of died for this and it didn't meet their expectations, and others are upset there's no core gameplay, no Ags Labyrinth, and no other, PvE game mode like Grievous Greed, for example. If we actually read, the comments across our Dota 2, I try not to do that, but when it's not about me, I can definitely stomach the comments being made. We can see a very strong reaction right from the release of this new update. Some are even calling the game dead, though I don't know how you can interpret that from a committed 5-month campaign and what looks to be a heavy focus on lore and story with the largest comic release ever. A little bit of overreaction, I think, to call the game dead, but people have been calling this game dead for 5, 6, 7 years now. It's absurd. Pro player from Gaming Gladiators, Quinn, he said, stop whining. They'll patch the game when they patch it. Valve doesn't owe you jack, can't munch on the hand that feeds you like candy bar, and also expect them to talk to you. Zip it, TY. As for me, I personally feel this is a great update. Now bear in mind, I have 0 interest in this stuff. If you watch me play any other game than Dota, I absolutely do not play any game for the story. I usually skip the dialogue because I have absolutely no patience or interest in learning the backstory of a character I'm going to finish in about 20 hours. You also see that I don't care about cosmetics. I haven't bought a Battle Pass since 2015. Nor do I partake in any progression-based elements, Dota Plus, or Cavern Crawls, Arcanas. For me, I play Dota, and I love Dota for Dota. Basically this release is not really aimed towards me. Now, with that said, I think this is a great update. Now, bear in mind that, it's part 1 of 4, right? So it's clear a lot of attention, design, and thought and appeal to the community was put into this. I definitely was with the community in that I thought this update was going to be like the New Frontiers with a big overhaul in core gameplay and maybe even Ringmaster. But honestly, there was no indication that that would be true in any of their posts. We kind of built it up in our heads, and it's also because we've been conditioned like chimpanzees to kind of expect those kind of updates, right? Especially when the rationale of moving away from the Battle Pass that I again do not engage with was to expand on more ambitious ideas. The only consistent thing with Valve is honestly their inconsistency. To be clear about what's coming ahead. You can see that they do a lot of things for players in the sense that instead of continually burning themselves out, putting all their resources into making a money grubbing Battle Pass that they actually earn a lot of money from. Not as much as Steam, but they still earn a lot of money from making Battle Passes. They opted more for something creative, right? That they can spread across the year, trying to be more accessible for players who don't or cannot spend on this free-to-play game. And this is 10 years after the Dota 2 release, right? Most other games will be winding down their time in production at this point and moving on to like other games to please their stock and investors. I know I'm kind of sounding in defense of Valve and all that. I actually don't have any real defense for them because I don't have interest in this update, but I can objectively acknowledge when someone put a genuine effort in trying to do good. And I personally think it's not just trying to do good. I think they did good. I honestly think that, right? Final point is that this idea is ambitious in more than just cosmetics and reskilling Cavern Crawl. It's literally part 1 of 4. It's just not what you expected, and I think that's fair. I also feel that some reactions are excessive and don't really take the time to really appreciate or digest what's been provided, and more importantly, what we may get in the future. So my point is, I like this update. I think it's really cool, but I'm definitely going to try. I like this update. I think it's pretty cool. It's not for me, but I'm definitely going to try it, and I'm definitely excited to see what's come. So that's the honest bottom line. I'm definitely going to try it. I think there is merit that there may have been some confusion, you know, teasing Ringmaster and International, and then calling this next upcoming update Crownfall. And when we all know in terms of upcoming features, it's just a new hero is definitely coming. That kind of leads us to jumping to conclusions that Ringmaster is Crownfall and that it's coming out along with other stuff. But with that said, let's be fair in our assessment, in our anger, that, there's also the idea that, you know, the last ambitious update that they did post the Battle Pass death, we'll call it, I don't know, era, post Battle Pass era, is one that literally expanded the map. So I think we were definitely caught off guard. But that said, I'm confident that there is more planned than this appetizer of a part 1 Crownfall release, and I'm anxious to see what lies ahead. So what lies ahead? Well, we are definitely waiting for Ringmaster. They said 2024, and I guess it was confusing for a lot of people, including me, that when they talked about the next update, that meant Ringmaster would be released. We're also waiting for the next balance update, as the 7.35D has been played for a decent amount of time. Personally, I feel this patch is actually very good, albeit it has some issues regarding breaking high ground, some heroes just being kind of overlooked and weak, like, I don't know, Silence is a perfect example, as well as kind of the mid lane, you know, position 2 is a bit dry in terms of impact and play style. I've gotten the hang of it, but I know a lot of people are kind of just like, you know, all that said, we know that part 2 of this Crownfall event, the Deserts of Druid, as you see here, will release in the middle of May. And with that, hopefully something substantial in the core gameplay experience of Dota 2 matches. Fingers crossed. Copium, big copium there. Anyway, that's it. Let me know in the comments what you think and feel. I'll see you guys on my Twitch channel or on my Torte de Lini 2 second YouTube channel. Thanks again.